Hi there, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com.
Today I'll show you how to crochet a headband using a hair elastic. The hair elastic sits in the back and gives the headband some stretch so that it holds in place on the hair. To do this, I'm using 55 yards of a medium weight cotton yarn, and you can use a size F, G, or H hook depending upon how you crochet. And I'm using a 1.5 inch hair elastic, but feel free to substitute with whatever you have. Start by placing a slip knot on your hook. Then make a single crochet stitch just as you would if you were working in the round and had made 6 chains and joined them together. Then make 29 more single crochet stitches in the elastic for a grand total of 30 single crochet stitches. You can make more or less if you wish. However, we need a minimum of 8 stitches for the top and 8 for the bottom. You can see in my sample elastic I made 30 single crochet stitches, 8 on top and bottom, then 7 on each side. Once you have finished, make a slip stitch to the first stitch. I'm going to continue on making this headband one color for now. Then later I'll show you how to adjust if you want the stripes. For the pattern, start with the chain 3. In the next stitch, make a double crochet cluster stitch, which is where you start a double crochet but don't finish it, then start another unfinished double crochet, then yarn over and complete the cluster. Then make a chain 1. In the next stitch, make a double crochet cluster stitch again. So we start with a double crochet stitch but don't finish it. Then we start with another double crochet stitch. Then finally we yarn over and finish both stitches at the same time. So we have 2 cluster stitches with the chain 1 in between. Now we start on the next double crochet cluster stitch. And after this cluster is made, we are going to make a chain 1. In the next stitch, we make another double crochet cluster stitch again. So we finish the next set of 2 clusters with the chain 1 in between. And now I'm starting my third set of clusters. The first stitch is a double crochet cluster stitch, and then we follow that with the chain 1. In the next stitch, we make a double crochet cluster stitch again. This will be our final double crochet cluster stitch for this row. Once we finish that third set of double crochet clusters with a chain 1 in between, we're just going to make a regular double crochet stitch at the end to match our initial chain 3. Row 2 is a lot easier to remember. We'll start with the chain 3, which serves as a double crochet. Next, we'll turn our work. Now, we have to find those 3 chain 1 spaces among our double crochet cluster stitches. In each of these chain 1 spaces, we're going to do a double crochet cluster stitch first, and then we follow that with the chain 1. And then in the very same chain 1 space, we'll do yet another double crochet cluster stitch. And I'll repeat for the next chain 1 space. We'll start off first with the double crochet cluster stitch that we've been making all along. Then we follow that with the chain 1. And finally, make one more double crochet cluster stitch in that very same chain 1 space. Finally, in that third chain 1 space, make one more set of the cluster, chain 1, and cluster stitch again. Make a regular double crochet stitch to even out the sides. Moving forward, we're just going to repeat row 2 for a total of 31 rows. Now, if you want to add some stripes, here is how to change colors. We'll start our very first color change right after the elastic. Place a slip knot on your hook and use that to finish the slip stitch with the new color. You'll work with the 2 strands of yarn at the same time. When we make our normal stitches for the pattern, we're going to carry along and crochet over the other strand that we're not using. As you can see, I'm crocheting with the green yarn and I'm crocheting over the unused pink yarn and carrying it along with me. On the very last green stitch, I don't finish it. Instead, I drop the green yarn and then pick up the pink yarn to finish it. I do like to put my green yarn in front and keep my pink yarn in the back, but that's up to you. So I finish my last double crochet stitch with the pink yarn. And I proceed with making a chain 3 with the pink yarn and turning my work. Now it's time to work with the pink yarn and carry the green yarn. To do this relatively neatly, I find bringing up the green yarn towards the front helps for the first stitch. Then I crochet over it. After that, I kind of move my green yarn towards the back as I work with it. And at the end of this row, you won't finish your last pink stitch. Instead, you'll drop the pink yarn and pick up the green yarn and work with the green yarn now for the next row. Now, to finish our headband, 31 rows works for me, or you can stop at any odd number of rows. And that gives me about 20 inches of crochet. Although I'm not done with my headband just yet, I'll show you how to join the last end together. Find the front side of the crocheted elastic. If you did the 30 stitches, count off 7 of them and make a note to place your first stitch in the next stitch. We're only going to slip stitch in actual double crochet cluster stitches or double crochet stitches or the chain 3. We're going to skip over the chain 1 stitches. So make slip stitches from the green yarn part to the elastic part. Now I find doing just the back loop of the green yarn makes for a nicer seam, but that's up to you. You can also sew this together if you wish. Then you can turn it right side out and you are done. And that's how I crochet a headband with a hair elastic.